In the deepest silence of the desert, where winds carry stories older than memory, lies a forgotten structure. Buried beneath layers of sand and centuries of deliberate concealment, it's a place no map dares to mention, and no official record acknowledges. This is a tomb whispered about only in fragments, in forbidden manuscripts guarded by secret archives, in testimonies of researchers who vanished before their discoveries could be documented. It lives on in myths spoken by the last elders of remote tribes, who insist the gods once walked among us. Not as spirits, but as luminous beings of flesh who descended from the sky with knowledge too vast, too powerful for early humanity. They arrive not to conquer, but to instruct, leaving behind traces that contradict every established timeline we've ever been taught. Traces that lead directly to the hidden tomb we are about to explore. A place so ancient that even the civilizations we call ancient would have considered it a myth. It was sealed with intention, as if its architects knew that someday, the truth lying inside would shake the foundations of everything we think we know about our origins. Imagine walking through a narrow passage carved with a precision no primitive tools could achieve. Each symbol on the walls glows softly when touched, as if responding to your presence. They depict figures with elongated limbs and radiant halos, holding devices from an intelligence far beyond our ancestors. These symbols guide you toward a chamber so massive its ceiling disappears into the darkness above. Supported by pillars of stone polished to a mirror-like sheen, distorted shapes seem to move in their reflection, even when the air is still. They seem to watch you, study you, almost recognize you. At the center of this chamber lies a sarcophagus unlike any archaeologist has ever seen. Not stone, not wood, not gold, but a structure composed of a metallic substance unknown to modern science. It's cold to the touch, yet pulses faintly like a slow heartbeat. Its surface is marked, not by carvings, but by strands of light that flow like liquid across its form, shifting, reacting, perhaps communicating. And then, there are the warnings. They're etched not in fear, but in reverence, by hands that clearly believed they were preserving something sacred and dangerous. These messages speak of visitors who arrived during a time before time, beings from the sky whose presence altered the destiny of early humanity. They shaped the first cities, taught the first sciences, and eventually departed, leaving behind only echoes and artifacts buried so deep they were never meant to be unearthed. The deeper you descend, the more undeniable the evidence becomes. Murals show star maps far more accurate than those known to any ancient culture. There are depictions of flying vessels soaring above oceans and mountains, scenes of luminous figures guiding humans in constructing impossible structures, and finally, inscriptions describing a catastrophic event. A moment when the sky gods were forced to retreat, promising to return only when humanity was ready to understand the truth sealed away with them. A truth now exposed by your presence. As your footsteps echo through the chamber, the air grows thicker, almost charged, as though every breath is being filtered through an invisible field that recognizes you, evaluating if you are worthy. You try to convince yourself it's just your imagination, but you can't ignore the subtle vibration under your feet, a low hum pulsing through the floor like a living rhythm. It feels as if the tomb itself is awakening after millennia of silence. You press forward, drawn by an inexplicable pull toward the metallic sarcophagus. You notice the shifting strands of light on its surface intensify as you approach. The patterns form shapes that resemble constellations, some familiar, others belonging to star systems no human astronomer has ever identified. A sudden realization strikes you. These lights aren't decorative, they are coordinates, a star map encoded into the sarcophagus itself, perhaps indicating the origin of the being inside, or worse, the route they traveled to reach Earth. The inscriptions offer no comfort. They speak of a cycle of return, a prophecy inscribed by the first humans who encountered the sky gods. It describes the moment when those beings would come back to judge whether humanity had evolved or destroyed itself. They warn that opening the tomb before the appointed time could trigger consequences even the ancient priests feared. Yet the tomb is already responding, reacting as if the presence of a modern human has activated mechanisms dormant for thousands of years. Now the walls begin to shift, revealing hidden passages where faint silhouettes move in synchronized patterns. They aren't physical beings, but holographic projections, memories recorded by a civilization far more advanced than anything the ancient world should have known. These projections replay scenes not meant for modern eyes, towering figures descending through columns of light, teaching early humans to harness energy, guiding them in constructing monoliths aligned with astronomical precision. And then, the catastrophe, when the sky itself turned violent, forcing the luminous beings to retreat into the earth, sealing themselves within this very tomb. You feel an overwhelming sensation of familiarity, as if these images aren't entirely new. As if some part of your consciousness has always known this story, buried deep within your genetic memory. And then the sarcophagus reacts again. It emits a faint resonance that travels through your bones, a hum that becomes clearer, forming a structured pattern. Not random, but like a message trying to break through the barrier of time. You step closer, unable to resist, and the strands of light converge into a single brilliant line that slowly traces the outline of a handprint on the sarcophagus. Your handprint, the realization hits you with a force that nearly makes you stumble. This tomb wasn't just meant to be discovered. It was meant to be opened by someone with your genetic signature, someone carrying a fragment of the lineage the sky gods left behind. You hesitate, feeling both fear and inevitability. The warnings, the illusions of chance, it was all a path leading you here, to this moment. Your fingers hover above the glowing handprint, trembling as the chamber's energy thickens like a storm about to break. Every instinct screams that you are crossing a boundary no human should cross. Yet, a strange calmness spreads through you, a sensation that feels almost guided, as though the very air is urging you forward. When your hand finally meets the surface, the reaction is immediate. The metal turns warm, pulsing in sync with your heartbeat. The strands of light coil around your fingers like living threads, merging with your skin as if recognizing you. The ground trembles softly, and the sound of ancient mechanisms awakens, gears turning, locks releasing, systems older than civilization, activating with purpose. The holographic figures flicker and reorganize, now showing you visions, not of the past, but of the future. Fragments of cities collapsing, storms swallowing continents, lights falling from the sky. Interwoven with images of the sky gods returning, descending once again through beams of white fire, as humanity looks up in fear and awe. The sarcophagus begins to open, not with a creak, but with a smooth, resonant glide, splitting down the center. It reveals a chamber filled with a faintly glowing mist. Inside that mist lies a figure, tall, slender, humanoid in shape, but unmistakably otherworldly. Skin pale like moonlight, eyes closed, yet radiating a presence so powerful, you instinctively step back. You expect the figure to awaken, but instead, the mist moves. It curls outward and envelops you, seeping into your mind, filling your vision with a torrent of memories that are not your own. Memories of a civilization that sailed among the stars of a dying world, a desperate search for refuge, of finding Earth in its infancy, and guiding the fragile species they discovered, altering them, embedding within their DNA the potential to understand the vastness of existence. You see their fall, not through conquest, but sacrifice, sealing themselves away to preserve what remained, waiting for their descendants to be ready. The visions fade, you're standing alone again, the mist dissolving into the air. The being in the sarcophagus is motionless, but a connection has been established, a silent pact that cannot be undone. Then, from the far end of the chamber, a new passage opens. A staircase descends into darkness, illuminated only by a faint glow from deep below. A glow that pulses in perfect rhythm with the sarcophagus, with the chamber, and with your own heartbeat. You realize now that this tomb is not a resting place. It is a gateway, a conduit leading to something far greater than a single discovery. You step toward the staircase, feeling the weight of destiny on your shoulders, knowing that every step brings you closer to a truth humanity has feared for thousands of years, a truth powerful enough to unite our species or destroy it. As you descend, the air grows warmer, the walls thrum with energy, and the distant glow intensifies. bathing the corridor in a color you can see but cannot describe. In the final moment, as you reach the last step, you understand the true meaning of the prophecy etched above. The sky gods did not abandon humanity. They went beneath it. And now, because you opened their tomb, because the seal has been broken, because your bloodline answered their call, they are awakening, and the world above has no idea what is coming. Thanks for watching. If you want to explore more forbidden truths, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next one.